Chodesh Tov. We are now in the month of Elul, and we are Chodesh Chai, Chodesh Chai, bringing to you the best of what we are learning about Jewish medicine, herbalism, embodiment practices for our well-being for each of these months of the season. And we want to say Mazel Tov to Ariella for bringing a new Chodesh Chai member into the world. She has a baby girl, Raziel, and little noises coming from the background. Raziel Chaya Miriam was born just 2 weeks ago.
Right, on Shabbat Mavarchim of Elul, which is the Shabbat right before Rosh Chodesh. It's a very special time because you're kind of in 2 months. So we were both in Av and Elul.
Yeah. And that's between you and your husband as well, isn't it?
That's right, because I have a birthday in Elul and my husband's birthday's in Av, and so she was like in between.
Bridge.
Yeah, bridge
Nice.
baby. We want to say happy birthday to all of the Virgos and the Elul babes out there.
Mm-hmm.
So many dear beloveds. Going to a lovely Shabbat dinner with Ophir and Dor, who just celebrated their birthday. And there's, who else do we want to send a special?
Were you eventually in Elul?
Yes.
Yeah, some friends in England, but I'm sure the list could go on.
Yes, so many. So tell us about Elul.
So, Elul. When people first hear about the month of Elul, a common thing that's said is it's an acronym for Ani Ledodi Vedodi Li, I am my beloved and my beloved is mine. Mm-hmm. And that's just sort of a nice way if you had to think about one sentence that encapsulates what this month is about. Just the mantra, I am my beloved and my beloved is mine for Elul. And another thing that's commonly told is that the king or the queen is in the field.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a time when the divine is the closest to us that it will ever be. Mm-hmm. And so we use this time, this closeness with the divine to prepare and reflect and think about sort of where we are in life and take accountability for our actions from the past year and really think about where we want to go to, because right when this month ends is Rosh Hashanah, and that is sort of the beginning of judgment, which will happen on Yom Kippur. So from Rosh Chodesh Elul to Yom Kippur is 40 days, and 40 is a very, very special number in Judaism. 40 days that Moshe was getting the Luchot, 40 days of rain during the flood, 40 days from conception until the brain of a baby forms. It's just a very special number, and every one of those days is important. Mm-hmm. And just in speaking about the importance, the action of this month is action. Mm-hmm. So it really is a time, even within our story, where we are supposed to do things that will bring us closer to God. So during this time, Moshe got the Luchot from Hashem, but
what are the Luchot?
The 10 Commandments.
Okay,
the 10 Commandments that God hand wrote, but because the Jewish people were dancing around a golden calf or for many other reasons, he dropped them and they were shattered. And so what did he do? He didn't just give up. He didn't just say, I'm done with these 10 Commandments, it's over. He hand wrote them, action. And it said, this is from Jill Hammer's book actually, that the second pair of 10 Commandments actually contains past, present, and future. So it's not a stagnant work of Torah. It's an ever-evolving piece that we all need to contribute to and figure out what actions we need to take so that the Torah can evolve and so that we can bring redemption to the Jewish people and to the rest of the world, to all the animals, to every being that exists. So that's really the energy of this month. And I'd love to hear about some herbs that we can use to cultivate that energy and things that could happen physically in our bodies during this really intense time of
It's really interesting because when you talk about Elul and you're talking about the king or the queen being in the field, it really speaks of it is the time when the closeness of divinity or the creator is right there in front of you. And also seasonally, we've reached the cusp of the year with the summer. It's now going back into dying in the autumn time. And, the astrological sign that is ruled by this month is Virgo, and that's ruled by Mercury. And Mercury is like the messenger, so it feels like the direct messenger is not just like angels, it's right with God in this month. And I feel like instead of it being through your breathing system, it feels like it's very much with your gut this time, and your nervous energy around your gut and what you're holding on to. You're also separating the wheat from the chaff, and you're discerning, and you're trying to figure out what you want to keep and what you want to sow for next year, what you're going to plant again. And so that really is a function of the gut. It's your digestive system is really assimilating and breaking down and figuring out which piece goes where, what's nourishment and what's elimination. And so all the herbs that work on our bodies for this season, it may be like very much digestive nervines that are gonna soothe your gut, but also tone them up and also kind of relax your whole nervous system so that you can receive. I feel like you receive first with your gut sometimes, and in this tea here I made wood betony, which is like something that my teacher Matthew Wood talks about, and he talks about how wood betony really works on your solar plexus. It really works on all the nerves of your gut, and it's a very grounding herb, and it's very good for relaxing all the nervous tension in our bodies and bringing us back into our center. And also agrimony, which is something that also works on our nerves and our gut center, and angelica root, which is also it's a very strong blood tonic. Like in Chinese medicine, it's a blood tonic, but it also works on our gut and our lungs at the same time. And I use licorice root or cinnamon. Cinnamon is the one that's used in the Torah, which is a lovely one because it's moistening as well as kind of like, calming. So those are the herbs that I've used for this season, and I wonder what you think about the embodiment side of things and like what the practices are for bringing that into our daily lives.
I always find it interesting to see the people that are coming to me for abdominal massage, for either for Chinese massage or for my abdominal massage, what's coming up at this season. Mm-hmm. And then I also see it in the yoga classes that I teach. And even this morning, there's people mentioning wanting breath practices, wanting to help ground nervous energy or anxiety, through breathing. And so the breathing practices are super helpful right now. And one that I've been doing, we're supposed to in Elul hear the shofar blast every morning as a wake-up call. And I started with the shofar, and I was like, you know what, I need to cleanse my own shofar. So I'm cleansing with my breath. So I've been every day now doing alternate nostril breathing.
I love that, cleansing your own shofar during the month of Elul. Beautiful.
Yeah, so you can hear the calling of what to take action on. Right. So there's so many themes. For me personally this month, I'm trying to be very organized about my priorities and organized around my food and digestion, like you said, for the belly. And so what can I do to prepare for Rosh Hashanah, for Yom Kippur, for the days of awe? What can I do to prepare, even to fast? So already this month, it's a wake-up call every morning, clearing through the breath, clearing through my diet, getting rid of sticky food, dairy, sugar. For me, those are the big ones. And so that I wrote a whole blog in my website about the klipot, this like sticky, gooey, worry energy that can build up. And there's a beautiful teaching, I think by Rev Dor Pinson, about the mikveh as a way to clear out the klipot. Oh. This is a spiritual bathing that you do before Shabbat or before any transition. And Elul is like the preparation before the Shabbat of Rosh Hashanah. Right. And so that, what do we do to prepare for the transition? We breathe. We release, worry and all the stuck, gooey energy from the gut. And then we can prepare for the big day by hot water, living water, immersion, full immersion. Yeah. I can always talk about mikveh, but if I think about like the body practices for this month, there's so many, but definitely some amount of gentle cleansing, some amount of bathing, of spiritual bathing, ritual bathing. And what we want to do today for Ariela is to do a belly, like bathing, belly wrapping. So after the bathing, just as important as the bath, as the herb bath or the ritual bath, is the closing of the energy. So once you've freed of the klipot, you're freed of the strife, the worry, and for you, just the bigness, the opening, the big event of birth. Right. We need to help the belly to close, to return to center. And this is not just for birth, so we'll show, it's so timely to be able to show this belly wrapping that a lot of doulas and midwives do, both in the Middle East, in South America, and Mexico, which is where I learned it, in warming the belly. I mean, what better, you're talking about the beautiful herbs for the digestion and for warming the belly, so we can have our chai and our warm our chi
home as well, like containing it.
And exactly. It's beautiful because it takes 40 days, just like that 40 days from Rosh Chodesh Elul to Yom Kippur for the cervix to close. Yeah. And so I feel so like I'm in my Elul. Yeah. Like really with what I need to work on, and what you were saying, everybody can, bathe and everything, but the 40 days is also relevant for the wrapping.
When you're also coming back into your center after being very, very open, you have to open up so much to birth, but then just coming back into your center and grounding so strongly so that you can give to your baby is like so important. And the 40 days of staying at home postpartum as well.
And the shofar, just with this whole birth talk, is often compared to a birth canal. Yeah, you're basically like going through Elul is like coming through your own, like coming through your rebirth. We are birthed once, but Elul gives us the opportunity to be born again. Yes, and the shofar is kind of like slowly coming out in a rebirth. Nice. Even the shape of it. So we're excited.
Oh yeah, I'm going to just introduce some of the herbs that we will use in the belly wrapping. Is motherwort for warming the belly, and rosemary to it's just such a purifying and remembering. So you can, as you're held and wrapped. I mean, what's the first thing we do for a baby when they're born? Wrap. The swaddle, wrapping up. It's just such a safe container. So the safety of when you're in that swaddle, as we're going to swaddle you, then also allowing yourself to remember, remembering going back through that opening of the birth, the intensity, the everything, the love, the big emotions. Just like we do in Elul, we might go back through our whole year and kind of sit there with it. Hold your belly, wrap your belly. You can do this at home with a scarf and a belly wrap, and remember your year. Then we have the Mexican marigold, which is so fragrant. It's a marigold plant with small little yellow flowers, and it's helps all of the other plants with their medicinal properties. And we have yarrow, which is
I like how you've got the dark red yarrow as well
for the belly and for the womb. So we will shift our camera over into a place where Ariella can lie down and receive a belly wrap.
See you soon.
See you soon.
It's off, right?
Mm-mm.
So Amanda, do you want to talk us through what you're doing?
Yeah, just kind of setting the stage for Ariella to go into the remembering zikaron process, remembering and soothing the body. Some of the sacred plants to help kind of bathe. This is the plant mikveh.
Yay.
I like the plant.
Yeah, my teachers, Estela Roman, and her teacher, Doña Enriqueta Contreras in Oaxaca. So this is the limpia, part of the spiritual bathing, the temazcal. It's a way to get rid of the gunk. Just sweep it out, just like we do with our homes.
Yeah. Down at her feet.
Yep. You'd be amazed what this can do for the muscles. How's it going? Okay.
Smells amazing. Feels great.
And your body remembers it afterwards too, which is the lovely part, you know. And so this is a rebozo.
So this is a rebozo, just a nice wide fabric, a nice shawl. And this is to help closing the bones, wrapping the belly, wrapping the hips. And you want to get the hips, the womb space, the belly. I'll show this if you're doing it not lying down and you want to wrap your belly. What I often do, again, white cloth, hips, some amount of belly, and then just wrapping around, which I actually should have done first just to protect and close off. My center helps me stay in my center, grounded. It's all about belly grounding.
And what you're giving and receiving as well.
So you want to get it nice and tight.
How's that feel, Ariella?
It feels very nurturing, and I feel like it's almost like more. I feel more like physically connected to my body. It's all kind of coming together. It's like puzzle pieces that were spread apart that now are coming together.
Does it feel grounding?
I want to bring all parts of Ariella back. All parts of the birth process, the big opening, closing the energy, coming back to your center and helping belly to come back. It's okay. There's a lot written in Chinese medicine about belly wrapping, belly warming, and unwinding the belly. You get really wound up. It can be really tight up in solar plexus.
And it connects to
Diaphragm.
all your organs, like in Chinese song, right?
Yeah.
It connects to all of your organs and all the way around the dial of your belly button.
Yeah.
Even with different times and different...
All the elements are mapped on the belly. Yeah, we're not going to go into the Chinese modality as much for Chodesh Chai purposes, but just, it's such ancient technology, but ancient wisdom, thankfully preserved by the midwives and continue to practice. Like I said, just belly wrapping, belly warming, the bathing, the herbal baths. I'm still very much, the grandmother's wisdom of caring for the woman.
So I have a question. How often would you do this?
Oh my goodness, as often as you can. I could do this every day, every week. I remember the first time I received a wrapping like this was like 9 months after I'd had a baby, and it was so needed then, and once it's not enough. Anytime, it's a way to cocoon. I like to usually wrap the head as well and the feet.
There we go.
Yeah, I think we will conclude.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you so much.